So today's video is going to be a little bit different. I wanted to share with you my journey to transitioning to natural deodorant. So the first thing I want to say is educate yourself on this topic. In the last few weeks, as I've kind of been compiling my thoughts on doing this video, I have learned so much about the natural deodorant marketing process and what actually scientifically supports that and what doesn't. I watched a very, very helpful video from Dr. Dre, I think that's her name. I just discovered her recently, so I'll link that down below. She is a dermatologist and she is very educated and provides a lot of education in that video, so I highly suggest checking that out. I'm very hesitant to kind of share my thoughts on things like that because I want you to form your own opinion. And again, educating yourself from people who are educated in that field where I am not, I think will be so much more helpful than me telling you what my thoughts are on the whole thing. So I'm gonna kind of approach this video from a feeling standpoint, smell standpoint, and how it worked for my body. I say this in almost every video when I do a review, is what works for me might not work for you. Your, makeup might be a little bit different from me. I will tell you, I never ever had a problem with sweating until I transitioned over to natural deodorant. I pretty much would not sweat at all, and I've always been that way my entire life. I do live an active lifestyle. I was very active when I was younger, always in sports and things like that. And I didn't have to put on deodorant all that often. It just kind of became like a routine after the shower thing. And that's the same thing to this day, again, until I kind of transitioned over to natural deodorant, which I'll get into in a second here. But I do have very, very sensitive skin. If I shave and try to apply deodorant, I get a huge reaction no matter what type of deodorant it is. I'm very, very sensitive skinned, but that's pretty much it as far as like how my body works. But just keep all of that in mind when I talk through this, because again, what works for me might not work for you. So I'm gonna start this from my most favorite to my least favorite, because some of you might want to click off and whatever. But with that said, the one that's my favorite might not be like my favorite smell and blah, 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 blah. I hope that makes sense. I feel like my thoughts make sense when I'm talking about it, but sometimes when I go back and editing, I'm like, what are you trying to say? But anyway, let's get started. The first thing I would recommend, number one, this has been my absolute favorite so far, is the Kosas Supreme Clean Chemistry AHA serum deodorant, blah, 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 blah. Very, very long name when you read through it like this, but I'm pretty sure this is just referred to as the Kosas Sport. This is my most recent natural deodorant. I've been trying this for probably about a month and I really, really like it. Again, keep that in mind, because if I had tried this when I was first transitioning from like the regular deodorant I would use, which I can't even really remember. I used all kinds of deodorants. I really, really like men's Old Spice deodorant. That's like my favorite. I love like every single scent of those ones. I really like Secret deodorant. I used this like Secret Paris deodorant for a really long time that had aluminum in it. Old Spice, the ones that I used, did not have aluminum in it. So again, like when you're transitioning to using a natural deodorant, I do feel like there's like kind of a process there. I guess I should kind of get into that first. There was definitely a process with me, and it took me a couple of tries to let myself go through that process of, being used to regular deodorant with aluminum, with antiperspirant that I didn't smell at all, and it kept me dry under there and all that stuff. When I transitioned, within the first week, I feel like I started to sweat a lot more, and then, there was a little bit of like BO happening, which is like kind of uncomfortable to talk about, but it's just the truth of the matter. So I would usually get to like about week 2, and then I'd be like, I can't take this anymore, and I'd stop. And I always tried to transition with Native. Native does not work for me. It gives me a reaction. I just do not like it at all personally. I didn't like the feeling of it. I felt like I had to reapply it all the time. It does have some nice scents, but it just didn't work for me. So I was able to transition when I tried another one of these with this, which is Kopari, which I'll talk about in a second. But this one is truly my favorite. It's a roller ball formula, so it goes on completely clear. I'll show you on the back of my hand, which I really, really appreciate. You can't see it at all. And it does dry down fairly quickly, but when you apply it and you put your arms down, there's wetness because it's this serum formula. This works really, really well for me. I really don't have to apply this all that. I mean, I only have to apply it after I get out of the shower. So I apply it once a day. I don't have to apply it twice a day, 3 times a day like I did with the Native. Again, I love that it's clear. It's already drying down on my hand. And this one has a very mild smell, like a very clean smell. There is an unscented version. I just kind of do like a little bit of fragrance in my deodorant, which is why I picked this one up. But I mean, it's really, that's a horrible, horrible thing to do on camera, but I just want you guys to kind of hear what it sounds like. It's a very, very different kind of formula, and I really like it. I do feel like, and this is kind of what the claims are, it is kind of stopping me from like any kind of issues with smell, and it doesn't irritate my underarms whatsoever. I want to pull up a couple of things that I had written in my notes so I can make sure I'm telling you guys everything I wanted to tell you. This one is vegan, it's cruelty free. There's no aluminum, baking soda, parabens, or sulfates, which is important. There's a whole bunch of educational information in, I hope her name's Dr. Dre and I'm not just thinking of like Dr. Dre, the rapper, but anyway, there's a whole bunch of information in her video about baking soda and aluminum not being so bad, and how marketing has just really run with the word natural that I want you guys to read and listen to and form your own opinions on. So anyway, I did want to mention no baking soda, no aluminum, and again, the cruelty-free vegan is important to some people. So this is my favorite. I really like it. I can't really smell it at all throughout the day, even after I put it on. There's really barely a scent there. I do kind of wish there was a little bit more of a scent, but I've really thoroughly been enjoying this one, and I think if you were gonna transition, this would be a good one to transition with. Speaking of that, this is my second favorite, and this was the deodorant that I was actually able to transition over to natural deodorant with. This is the Kopari coconut oil charcoal deodorant. I really like this. It is messy because it's deodorant, you know what I mean? But this felt most like a regular deodorant to me. There were a ton of natural deodorants I had tried, like Schmidt's and Native and well, actually I kind of liked the La Vanilla one. That was kind of close to this one, but I like this a lot better. But a ton of natural deodorants are very hard to get on your skin. They kind of pull, and that really irritated me a lot. I would get these like red bumps under my skin with that. I'm not sure if Native has baking soda in it. Maybe that was why. But anyway, I just really didn't like that. This is very smooth, and the smell, this hands down wins way over the Kosas for smell. I really like this. This is kind of a little bit more of a manly smell. It's driftwood, and I really like this. So I would definitely buy this again, and this is what got me through being able to transition, which Native couldn't for me. I only had to apply this once a day as well. That's a huge thing for me. I do not want to have to carry my deodorant around with me and reapply throughout the day. I don't have time for that. And this worked really well for me. I think it's like $15 or something like that from Ulta, and I really like the driftwood smell the best. So this is aluminum free as well. This is also baking soda free. This is, let's see, 100% plant-based, and it's cruelty free, phthalate free, sulfate free, paraben free. So a really good alternative as well. You know, I would kind of recommend both of these for transitioning, this one or this one. The Kosas is supposed to kind of help with, you know, fighting bacteria under the pits with the AHA serum, but you know, it's hard to know if that's actually happening or if that's just a marketing thing. But really, really like both of these. Next up, and another one I really like, but like the other two better, this is the Drunk Elephant Sweet Pity Deodorant Cream. This is a very, very interesting one. It is shaped like a square, which is super, super different. So I know this is very minute, but important to me. It feels weird going on with a square under your armpits, if that makes sense. But this is a paste formula, I guess. My camera isn't wanting to focus up close for some reason, but I think you could see it there. It's a very, very unique pasty formula. And this, I feel like, stays kind of damp under the pits a little bit longer, which also I wasn't a huge fan of. So I'm just gonna pick it up on the finger and kind of show you guys what that looks like. So it has a little bit of like a milky kind of cast to it, but it dries down and it doesn't like, you know, stick around and turn white or anything like regular deodorant, like powdery deodorant would under the arms. It has that typical like Drunk Elephant almondy scent. It doesn't have baking soda, it doesn't have aluminum, it doesn't have essential oils. That's another thing that Dr. Dre talks about in her video, essential oils being in deodorant and what that can do to your armpits. So again, reference that video. But I did like this. I didn't feel like this made me smell, or I guess I should say I felt like this made me not smell. I don't know, you guys know what I mean, but I don't know what it is about it that I like. I think it's, I like the Kopari scent a little bit more, and these were on the same, you know, playing field for me. So I just like the smell of Kopari more, but really, really nice formula. Feels nice under the pits. It didn't, you know, give me any kind of irritation or anything like that, but I think this was a little bit more expensive, maybe around $18 or something like that. So a bit more expensive. It is a clean brand, which is also awesome. Awesome. Why did I just try to say that with an accent? It is a clean brand, which is awesome. It just, I don't know. I feel like if this one's more affordable and has a scent I like, I would probably buy it over the Drunk Elephant just because of that. But if you were a huge Drunk Elephant fan, or, you know, if you had the Sephora sale and you saw this, I would pick it up. You just kind of have to get used to the square top and applying that under your armpits. I also do love how easy this spreads, being a paste-ish type of situation. I liked how easy it was, you know, spread under the armpits, whereas again, some natural deodorants are super hard to spread under the armpits. Okay, and finally, I have the Secret Rosewater Aluminum Free Deodorant. I literally picked this up because I knew I was doing this video and wanted to see what was available at CVS, and this was, you know, on the more natural side, but I hate how this smells. It is awful. It smells like something nostalgic, and then there's like a hint of rose, but it literally gives me a headache. I do not like this whatsoever. It is a clear bar, I guess. It's solid, so, you know, you don't see anything when it goes on, which is nice, and it didn't irritate my skin. I just can't get past the scent of it. And I feel like there's a lot of ingredients in this one, if you are getting natural deodorant just for the more like natural lifestyle, that I just don't know what they are, like C12-15, 1,2-hexanidol or something like that. There's also mineral oil in that, which, you know, I don't know how good that is for the skin, but yeah, I would not get that. If you were, I think that was expensive as well. It was somewhere around like $9 or $10. If you're gonna get one from CVS, I would honestly get like the Schmidt's one or something like that, or Native. I think Native's at like CVS and Walgreens now. It's definitely at Target. I would definitely pass on this. It's not doing anything good for animals. It says no aluminum or dyes, dermatologist tested. Odor fighting formula, goes on and stays clear for days. You need extra protection. That was another reason I thought I would get this. I thought for some reason in my head this would provide me with like some more protection than something like the Kosas or the Kopari on those days when it was going to be really hot or I was going to be really active and I would use this. But in all honesty, especially after watching that video, I'm so sorry I keep referencing it, I just want you guys to watch it. I would just grab something like the Vanny cream that Dr. Dre mentions, or in all honesty, maybe even just a tiny thing of regular Secret for protection, again, on those very, very active days. So that is it for this one. I just wanted to throw something out there about my journey. Again, I've tried other things like the La Vanille, I think that's what it's called, or La Vanilla. Let's look it up. Yeah, okay, it's La Vanilla. I've tried that. Again, I've tried Native, Schmidt's. I've tried a handful of other ones, but these are, what I have here right now and what my experience has been so far. And again, highly, highly recommend the Kopari, the Driftwood scent, and the Kosas. These have been awesome, and I shouldn't say I think, because again, I don't know your body makeup. I hope they would work for you as well if you were gonna kind of make your transition from regular deodorant to a little bit more of a natural deodorant, which I feel just kind of would be for someone, now that I'm more educated on it, who wants, more of a natural, or has more of a natural lifestyle. So I hope that makes sense. Go watch that video. I'll link it down below. If you guys have any questions, as always, let me know. This isn't meant to be super, super educational. It's just meant to be what my experience has been as someone who is health conscious and wants to put good things into my body. So again, let me know if you have questions down below. Otherwise, if you're interested in seeing any more videos from me, please subscribe. It means the absolute world to me, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.